Alright. Alright. Welcome to session 14 of Ragnarok. So last session, which had the episode name The Clittering. Haru and Roan almost got their face bitten off by Meryl the Flame Skull. You guys fought many zombies and some spiders. Ulf learned some things about the Runestone of Arndal. Ilya used the mighty 3-action heal to nuke many of the undead, and even was able to finish off a wraith. So that was the session. If that helps jog your memory on where your characters are and what you're doing. Yeah, I forgot that you weren't there, Shifty. So the party was in a town. They there to get the runestone. They met the dragoons who handed over the runestone and making camp in the town before heading out. The party was ambushed by not making camp, but they were followed by Meryl, the skull that talks in riddles. Or in rhyme, the one that talks in rhyme. Was flying. Yeah, the rhyming skull was flying above the party and was taunting the party and raised a bunch of the undead to attack, which attracted the attention of many spiders that were hidden in the ruins of the town, which is why it's called the clittering, is because you could hear the clittering of the spider legs on the ice in the dark. Yeah, the clittering. Yeah. Yeah. So, anyways, um, you all have the runestone. You successfully defeated the spiders and drove off Meryl. Meryl is not dead. He escaped. He nearly took off Arwen Roan's head, though, with a good old bite. So you guys did end up leaving the town to make camp shortly after. You just didn't want to hang around in camp in case reinforcements came. Um, but a lot of what Merrill was doing was taunting you that the runestone was worthless to Lord Graham and that it was too late. So with that, with that, you are somewhere inside of this big blue circle on the world map. I will, if you want to take yourselves to that. It's very difficult to navigate, but Ulf has done a spectacular job of keeping the party on track with the provided materials. But with the runestone in hand, where would you all like to go? Are you laughing at me? Oh, yeah. You sent him that picture. Ebeltoft. No. All right. Go ahead and give me a good old check for navigating, and let me know which path you would like to take. Yep, that's. I think that ends up being a survival, but yes, that's the specific action you're trying to take. Okay. It is. Yep. All right. Make sure he led you to the runestone. Make sure you're subtracting rations um, for the travel. But go ahead and give me about 2 days worth of rations expended, as it's relatively uneventful leaving from where you are now to the direction that Ulf has pointed out. I think you dropped it, or you tried to drop it on the combat. Oh, that might have been the token I deleted. I saw a second. I saw a second Ulf token that was like pulsating, kind of like what Tingle's doing right now. Because I was like, why is there so many uh tokens? Hmm. Vorpal playing cards. Just an artificer with too much time on their hands. I'm gonna make 52 Vorpal items. They're playing cards. That way, if you catch someone cheating, you just throw a card at them real quick. Cut off their head. Yeah. Vorpal paper cut. Uh, no. What was that movie where the aliens were like sectioned off in like Africa or something like that? Yeah, District 9. Yeah, something like that. District number. All right. As you are journeying back from the desolate lands controlled by Skuldragger, your motorized magical sleds, which you all were given, hum with power, propelling you through the cold and unforgiving wilderness. But without warning, the sleds slip out of control, sliding sideways into a spiral. I need the drivers to make me a vehicle handling check. Welcome to Saturday! I thought that it was. Hmm. Well, that kind of sucks. Let me see. Oh, well, gotta go look that one up. Piloting check. Piloting checks. They can use driving lore or piloting lore. Yes, that sounds familiar. Yes, that is correct. And since we're talking about rolls, been playing Baldur's Gate with Lorne, and there were two checks that I had to roll natural 20s on to succeed back to back. Did it. Back to back 20s. Ooh, Ivar! Alright. Ivar, you managed to stop the sled without hitting anything that could potentially damage in it. Not fully getting control back, but you stop the sled um, without damage. Now, Aro and Erone, your sled hits a bank of snow and tips onto its side. You hear some bending and cracking of the vehicle. You hit a bank of snow, right? And it just bounces back onto its side. I mean, it's on the side. You would have to stand. Yeah, it's on its side. You heard some cracking of wood or. Luckily not. So yeah, no cracks on your body, but you hit your sides and maybe your head a little bit. You're a little disoriented. Maybe gonna have some good bruises. Getting out, you notice a much thicker fog and blizzard. It, the storm's picking up and it's limiting your visibility, and you notice a brisk chill that even pierces through your winter clothing. You also notice that what you would expect to be snow, a smooth path for your sleds, has been transformed into thick sheets of ice, which is. I imagine Tangle's like head first down into the snowbank with his little legs kicking. His little legs just kicking. It's like, somebody help! It's possible. Hmm. Make a perception check. You're not you're not sure what to make of the ice, but it is very wide path of ice that you just end up crossing perpendicular with, and that's just through the. If you're talking, I can't hear you. No, can't hear you. No, like Discord is lighting up green, like it is picking up your mic, but we can't hear you. It's weird. Oh, he's talking to Jen. Uh, well, it's not a road. It's not a road. It was just here was your path, right? And you ended up crossing this patch of ice, and it just unexpectedly took you out. And it's it's just very uneven surface, and it's very strange and unexpected. Okay. Yeah, and you also feel the brisk cold through your winter clothing. Like it, even with your winter, it is extra cold. It's thick, hardened ice. You can go ahead and give your own perception check if you want to gain any more details from it. Sure. Ulf, for you, it's not hard. The ice is patted down snow, snow that was walked on so much that it became so dense and it froze over into a thick sheet of ice from a large group of undead that walked this path. A sizable force. Yeah, it's a haunting sea of undead tracks surrounding you, their footprints disappearing into the foggy atmosphere of an uncertainty into the direction of Ebeltoft. It goes outside of your view mostly because of the density of the blizzard. It's you can see just ice, and it just continues to go into the fog and snow that is falling down. Oh yes, thousands upon thousands of creatures created this. Ilya, you got the same information from your perception. It, right, give me an athletics check. The ice makes it to where you're unable to get a solid footing, and you slip and fall onto your face trying to lift it up. Um, Going to back to Marcus. Marcus, you know that you could potentially take a direct path towards Ebeltoft, but it will likely send you through even more undead to go get you closer to the front lines of the conflict. It, it either they move 24/7 for the most part. You do know the undead has a preference to attack at night because they get the an advantage doing so. I was debating having Roan bring up a mage hand and just catch it so where it can't land. Because he knows it's bullshit too. So, Roan, what you're witnessing is Ivar getting ready to flip a coin after Ivar and Ulf were debating on which direction to go. Ulf wants to take the safe route back towards the river and shoreline. Ivar wants to head directly to the city, which will likely put you into the back line of the undead horde that created this packed ice trail. All right, roll a reflex check. All right, so Ilya, you're able to smack the coin out of midair into a different direction. It hit the patch of ice. You heard where it hit, and you can see it somewhat glimmer with the lights from the lanterns. All right. All right, Paul has decided for the party. We are spending the session finding the coin. The DC is 45. Once you guys figure it out how to roll 45. The coin was the clittering all along. Ulf is very confident in the direction that where he is pointing is to Eveltoft. I have to practice my corporate talk. I got a new position at work, so. Were you here for the yarn discussion? That was great. It was, Ivar was trying to talk to Ulf and say, "I'm going to tell you like they spin a thing of yarn, right? And, and he told him this whole story, and then Wolf's like, "Where does the yarn come into play? Where is the yarn?" There has to be a term for that, right? Um, Homonyms. Same spelling or pronunciation, but different meanings and origins. Uh, well, I don't. It says that having the same spelling or pronunciation, so it can be like red and red, but it also, yeah. No, you guys have just been talking. Uh, Let me see. What type of check would that be? A crafting check could probably be appropriate. Uh, well, it's more so he's trying to use the other cart and some rope. So I'm trying to say, like, craft some mechanism to get the leverage. It takes a little bit of time due to the ice and the coldness. You start feeling your hands going numb, even though you might have thick leather gloves put on. Your hands are going numb. Your face is definitely numb at this point. Uh, it's bad um, being in this storm, but you do successfully manage to get the other cart flipped over, um, and you do notice some cracks that kind of break that let some of the coldness get into the interior. Ilya, you can look down at your hands even after, and you notice that you have damage from the cold, even though you can't feel it. Um, you you are free to roll a check that you think would be related to acquiring the knowledge. What would your character think of, and what that context would be? Okay. For no, because you guys could just got one when you leveled up. You have reasons to believe that this could be a an effect of Fimbulwinter. Fimbulwinter is a magical, fate-driven storm or season that lasts for an extended amount of time. This could be an effect of Fimbulwinter that hardens the earth before Ragnarok. Correct. It's part of the natural cycle of the gods. It was foretold by the Norns. Faith plus one. Healbot. Wait, didn't you like injure Ulf trying to heal him once? Yeah, that's probably sure. Yeah, a critical failure healing. Like, be like, I did 3 weeks of medical school, and patient Ulf is laying there like dying. Friendly fire. Can't wait for Ilya to get drunk or something and accidentally cast harm instead of heal on you. Alright. Your travel is slowed due to the effects of the storm and the ice patches. You have to travel at a slower speed, your vision is reduced, and you risk running into boulders, trees, ruins, or even sinkholes. Though you can go at full pace if you want, but that will be the risk that you incur. Don't know where polishing the crystals came from. It was literally pick the crystal growth off the machine. Yes. Ugh. Hold on one sec. Alright, I need 3 survival checks or navigation checks from Ulf, unless somebody else is going to. Yep. Next one, please. Yes. Yep. Yeah. Well, unless there's a technicality there. If you dismantle the piece of it, you could repair it and put it back together. Yeah. All right. Another check here. Wolf. Okay. All right. 3 days later, at the end of the third day, you find yourselves in a familiar location. It is where you camped the previous night. The the good news is that the storm has passed. Now that the storm has passed, occasionally the sun will peep in just for the briefest moments before overcast clouds cover it back up again. Please be sure to reduce your rations by 3 days. Ulf, you do understand that because you are no longer on the marked path that was given to you, and you don't necessarily know where you are now. You don't know. You have an idea. If you're on the world map, you're somewhere in this circle. And you need to try to figure out how to get back to the shoreline. Yeah, that big blue circle. Okay? Well, remember, this was the end of the third day, so you're doing this the morning of the fourth. Okay. Unless you're navigating through the night. Circle's more about there. Okay. Morning of the fourth. Okay. It's because of Thor. It is now north. North is up is north and stuff. Thor straightened out the continent, but he did punch it specifically because of where you guys went. or not you guys as your party, but the previous characters. Shh. Mm-hmm. Okay. Thankfully, because of the way that the storm passed, at the end of the fourth day, or towards the end of the fourth day, you start recognizing woods. You, and that actually narrows down where you potentially are into about that location. Okay, so do you have to roll checks or is it just actions? I believe it was just actions, right? Okay. I know you took feats or something to assist with this. Is that popcorn? Yeah. I was about to say, you have. Yeah, but that still leaves five. The rat is still here. But the rat does. Let me go look at Tingle's. He needs some subtract. Let me see. Uh, Tingle's been out of food. So I hope you crit. Well, he gets a success because of the forager's skill. So he gets enough for four people, but somebody ain't eating tonight, or you're all not going to get the benefits of food. So either you gotta choose somebody who's not eating, or I'm already counting Marcus out of it. All right. All right. For everyone's awareness, this is the starvation and thirst rules. Typically, characters eat and drink enough to survive comfortably. When they can't, they're fatigued until they do. Without water, after a number of days equal to a creature's constitution modifier plus 1, the creature takes 1d4 damage each hour that cannot be healed until it quenches its thirst. After the same amount of time without food, it takes 1 damage each day that cannot be healed until it eats. So, Okay. It only takes half the day for you to reach the shoreline heading straight north, and you are extremely confident that the settlement across the river is the city of Sears. Can roll a history check. Thinks a society check. So, um, for what you remember in brief history, that city is run by the automatons. You don't really know too much about it other than that they like to manufacture things. There is no bridge to cross this river into the city. All right. Just flurries. If only Tingle was here, he'd be like, "But we need to get home so I can tell my family to run away so they don't get slaughtered." There's an unarmed. Yep. Oh, cool. Sorry, I was just playing around with something. So this is the sheet that uh someone told me about. I think it was you, yeah, ACOG. So you guys have access to this. There's three tabs at the top. I don't know what you guys can see, but right now it's unrestricted, so I think you can see everything. So you should be able to see like, and I don't really consider this meta because you guys can have been together for a while now. You know what you're naturally good at. So there's three tabs underneath the overview, which goes over all of the languages you all know and how many of you know them. The party skills, so you guys can kind of know what you're good at as a party. There's some recall knowledge. Yes. There's the X. Tells you your travel speed under exploration. And there's slots for like where you can assign people to specific exploration roles or something. Uh, there's a rest button there, and that's what I hit. That rested everybody. Um, and then there's the stash that tells you your total party wealth, and how much of it is in coinage, what your total bulk is, and you can add stuff to this party bulk. So yeah. Tinkle's gonna be like, I know you have this. I see it. Can I have some? So, anyways, I wanted to share that. That's part of the one of the recent updates to the Pathfinder system. Another reason why Pathfinder is so much better. Um, so yeah, so if you go to actors, there should be something called the party. I highlighted it red, and there's next. You just click on the little open sheet button, and it's right there. And if you guys want me to restrict some things, there is some information I can restrict. Like I can't restrict that. I could just it's like all stats, conditions, damage. So, anyways, good sidetrack. Just wanted to let you guys know one of the cool things that recently came up from the update. But yep. Yes. Remove member now. Configure ownership. There we go. All right. Ulf, you You get enough food for 4 individuals. You were close to finding enough food for many individuals, but that game got away from you. So is Ulf going to cook this, or should I just eat it like it is? I think I'll be fine eating it like it is. Are you sure? It looks pretty good. I like it raw in wriggling. No. Ah, love Golem. All right. So whoever's gonna try to cook, go ahead and make a survival check. I believe it is to cook something. Is there a specific? There's a subsist. What? I'm gonna see what that is. There's a subsist check that you can use for it. You have you have produced a fine meal for you and your compatriots. For the four that can eat. But what if Tingle made you a magic potion to where you could talk to the rabbit and before you ate it? Would you feel like a monster if you knew what it understood and felt? Mm-hmm. I haven't finished it, but I mean, Lauren and I play it where we are somewhere in Act Two. Yeah, yeah. Lauren accidentally did that, and what she has two different single player campaigns. She's playing Mab, it's a gnome character, but she also has a bard. For her bard character, she was just trying to scare him, but she rolled a natural 20, and so it killed him. Suffering from success. I took Shadowheart. Oh, Glazale. My wizard did that. My wizard stole the Drow's clothing from the goblin encampment, and so that's my camp clothes is that leather. I didn't know that she could actually be a companion. I found out that you could actually recruit her. Yeah, you have to. It's an evil playthrough if you want her as a companion. My wizard's romancing Shadowheart, but hooked up with Lae'zel after one combat encounter. We've been sidelining Lae'zel for the most part, but then we did her quest line of going to the creche and everything. So I put Shadowheart in camp and took Lae'zel, and after like two combat encounters, Lae'zel was just down. Like that was it. No, this came after the update. Yeah. No, like Lae'zel's just down whenever you get her bloodied in combat. Like if you she can go kill something, she's just ready to celebrate. Yeah. Lauren's was playing. She just went to bed, but she's having Shadowheart just running around in the nude in her party, just for the fun of it. It's like she has her mace and her shield, and then just sitting in her underwear. Lauren did that. She's been trying to hit on Asterion in our campaign. She just took off all the clothes, went up to talk to Asterion, and he had nothing. He was like, I'm not interested in you, period, type of conversation. And she's just sitting there, black ass nude, running around camp. Baldur's Gate is an amazing game. Paul, I'm surprised you have not gotten it. It it really is. I, people have used the environment to their advantage. Like Baldur's Gate 3 is fucking D&D, but you don't have to wait and make sure the party actually arrives. You could play multiplayer if you want, or you could play with the NPCs and you control them and you get to make do what they want, do what you want with them. I haven't watched anyone play Baldur's Gate because I didn't want to get like spoiled on like certain plot lines and stuff. Okay. hmm I like how they reward intelligent play, right? The buffs, the debuffs, like setting things up. Now, the one thing that I did spoil myself on, just because how ridiculous it sounded, you can beat the game in under 10 minutes if you start your main character as Gale. There is a less than 10-minute speed run of Baldur's Gate 3. Yeah, but that's it's like I got zero of the plot part of it because they just skipped all the dialogue and they just. But I had to see it. I was like, in the game that I'm just like I got to go back to the Underdark with Lauren. We skipped a good chunk of the Underdark because we got to a certain point where we used all of our health potions and character died like twice that fight and shit, and it was very bad. And it was like, okay, we should not be here. And now that we've leveled up twice since then, we probably should go back. But all right, back to this. No, you guys. So Ulf just he cleaned out some game, threw the corpses for the party. Ilya ended up cooking a decent meal, and Ulf stormed off into one of his sleds. And one, okay, okay, go ahead and roll for the next day for rations. Yeah. Hmm. Can't really lose your direction unless you forget which way the water's flowing. You are unable to acquire. You don't see anything. It'll be hard to see anything against the gray sky, but Ulf, you are unable to find game this day. Which means if Ilya can keep her rations to herself, or she can share the last two rations. We're by the river. You can try. It's gonna be survival. It's a sustain. You are unable to catch a bite. Let me see what the specific wording is. You acquire enough food for one person. You're a menace. Menace. I gotta write this in the summary notes. Paul boils eggs in the microwave. I like frying everything in peanut oil. I have to try it. Hmm. Tingle's just been very quiet. Tingle does not like the awkward silence. Ivar and Ulf don't want to talk to me. They don't want to talk to each other. I tried to show them my cool things in my pockets, and they don't see. That's a shirt. Yeah. Okay. Early in the morning, 9ish or so. Sun's been up for a little while since you are traveling through. The sounds of battle echoes through the air. As as you continue your travels, it comes into view. Hundreds of undead clawing their way towards hundreds of Ebeltoft soldiers and what you recognize as dragoons on the battlefield. Dragoons are spitting out weird energy into the undead. Some of them catching fire, other ones are blowing the undead into pieces. The soldiers are forming a wall with shields as tall as they are that look massive and heavy, long lances pointed out. You see archers in the back peppering the field with arrows laden with fire. There are flying undead sweeping in between the behind the lines trying to pick off who they can. It is a massive battle. Correct in that field. One of the dragoons jumps 40 feet into the air, 60 feet out, landing on a small horde of undead. 8 arms stretch out from its legs, wielding small blades, as it just blends its way through part of the undead horde before succumbing to the masses, where piece of its armor is ripped off, its legs destroyed, and it gives out a mechanical cry before it stops moving. There are You see some banners that would indicate a ranking individual. You also, while scanning the battlefield, you notice thousands of mixed corpses that head further south. It looks like the Ebeltoft soldiers have been pushed back, and that this battle has been going on for a long time. Then you notice huge walls of fire suddenly appear across the battlefield, cutting the undead forces into multiple smaller uh, detachments, units, making it easier for the Ebeltoft forces to pick off the remaining undead. The undead army begins to retreat. What remains, scrambling back into the undead forest. But as you are traversing through the battlefield, heading towards the Ebeltoft forces, you can only see glimmers of armor and weapons from the fallen soldiers strewn across the battlefield. Probably dozens, but some of them are, some of them gain enough strength and vigor to stand up on their own feet. Others are missing limbs, whether it be arms or legs, and you may have stabilized them, but they're still otherwise immobile. Weighed down with their thick, heavy armor, or just trapped in the piles of corpses. Appears to be so. You see a few of them straggling off into the distance. Some of their undead have casualties, wounded casualties as well, as like their lower half has been ripped off, so you just see like the top level corpse just crawling its way back into the woods. You're still a couple miles away from Stunhouse proper, but you are able to render aid to those that you find are survivors. But even even you don't have enough magical energy nor time to tend to everybody. For the rest of you, as you continue to approach the Ebeltoft host, they don't stop you. Some of them give you glances, but most of them are doing what they can to render aid or reform. They've all run off into the woods after eight, yeah, after huge walls of fire appeared. Getting closer, you noticed robed individuals instead of armored individuals. Some wielding staves, others wands. But they also look pretty bloodied and exhausted. Who are you? Sent by whom? Lord Grim? Then you need to head back to the city. I have no idea what that is. I don't think anybody else here would. How many of these things do you have? Lord Grim asked for it. He probably knows what it needs to be used for. Keep heading west through Stunhouse for as long as it stands. We're trying to distract the hordes from attacking it. It can't take up much more of a beating. It's going to fall soon. So get there while the bridge is open. Never this many before. Had no idea. Thousands, definitely. Tens, I don't know. We're, we've separated our hosts to try to separate them up, be able to create flanks. Their only strength comes in numbers. If we can separate out their numbers, then we have a better chance. But yeah, but as soon as the casters reveal themselves, though, they're picked off by wraiths or worse. I know how to swing my sword and an axe. If he sent you out into these woods to fetch it, I'm sure he has a plan for it. Ilya, you are basically shoulder deep, covered in blood from treating wounded, and there are still wounded to be treated by the time that Arwenid Roan comes back to you to pick you up. If Probably two or three by hand, a few dozen with the spells. A few hours later, you all make it to the gates of Stonehouse, or what remains of the gates, as parts of the wall, part of the gate has been ripped down. Hundreds upon hundreds of undead corpses that are fresh are stacked in piles. No, no robot. No. Um, no, wait for him to rejoin. All right. As you drive through, you hear people yelling and screaming, "Get the women and children! Get everyone back out! Start marching towards Ebeltoft! Evacuate! Anything that can be used for defense, take it to the bridge!" As you see, thankfully you're in the cart, so, or the sled. Knowing that Ebeltoft is still 2 days away, and hundreds of people are walking there on foot. as you join the queue to cross the bridge into the safety of Ebeltoft's lands. You notice barricades being set up, fortifications being made, large artillery pieces for catapults and trebuchets being manufactured on the other side. It's just a matter of time before Stunhus is lost and the undead encroach further into the lands of the living. It's if you go and drive for 24 hours straight, you'd be able to get there in a single day instead of two. About 24 hours later, you all are at the gates of Eveltoft, which are sealed shut with a large contingent of guards on the outside and some other individuals there with them, carrying stone tablets and orbs that float in their hands. No, they appear to be scanning people's faces. Part of your rest, the rest that you just took, was your rest over that 24 hours. Stenhus? Okay, well then you've been able to rest 24 hours later from whenever you took that rest. No, they're okay. There's civilian versions of these sleds. They do take up a huge chunk of the street, but people have gotten used to walking on the sides for the so the motorized vehicles can use. And as you are going through, you see in the larger areas the courtyards of the city are being packed with soldiers and similar sleds like you, or trucks or motorized flatbed sleds packed with supplies. And you can only assume that they're getting ready to leave the city to help reinforce the front. You make your way to you make your way to the inspector inspector's um, office, where you can park the sleds out front. You are recognized by the guards and they let you pass with the parchment that you carry. Meeting the inspector on the inside, he looks a little sullen, much more pale from the last time that you saw him. Uh, you're back! You have it! Uh, hand it here, please. Hmm. Oh, it does it? I, I oh, so you ran into some resistance, I take it? I must get this to Lord Grimm as quickly as possible. Uh, I'm sure we'll find a great use for it. Um, uh, things are a little hectic, as you may understand, if you came through Stenhouse. Um, so I will I will fetch you in the morning. Go get some well-deserved rest. I'll know where to find you. The inspector just lets you have your conversation. He walks out with the runestone. And that's perfectly fine and doable. It just costs you a couple of copper. Or you just buy it. There's the store attached to your character sheet. Yep. Again, why I love Pathfinder. I don't have to know. You just can do it. Hmm, almost got the date right. All right. While you all do your things during the day, because you got there roughly in the mid morning, so you have your day to rest up, eat some food, and find a place to sleep. That night, regardless of where you are and whether if you're together, you are awoken by agents of Ebeltoft and told to follow and that Inspector Astrid is requesting your presence. Regrouping outside of a tower with Inspector Astrid. Without. Alright. The Inspector gestures you all to follow without speaking a word and brings you inside of the tower and up a circular staircase leading to the very top. It's entirely sealed and has no windows. In the dimly lit room stands what you presume to be Lord Vickham Grimm. He is silent, and he turns to face the party. He is holding the runestone of Arundel. He sets it down onto a pedestal. He looks at you. His eyes are sagged with grief and a lack of sleep. You are the ones who brought me this runestone. I thank you for it, though it came too late. He looks over to the inspector and a newly appeared robed individual who is hooded and you cannot see their facial features. Have you told them? They both shake their heads side to side as if the words were too heavy to say. Show them. The inspector speaks up. My lord, I protest. They aren't. Show them, he interrupts the inspector. He repeats his words with a low and calm voice. The inspector bows his head slightly and steps back. The robed individual steps forward and pulls out a staff, muttering incantations as the torches dim completely and more pedestals rise from the stonework beneath your feet. A mixture of fire, water, dirt, stone, and lightning appear from small stones embedded into the pedestals. The wizard looks towards his lord once more for acknowledgement, which Lord Grim nods his head for him to continue. And the wizard taps his staff twice on the stonework as the elemental energies dance across the room, forming an image. The Grim estate stands before you, its architecture steeped in an unsettling stillness. Home to Lord Grim, his wife Freya, and their children Magnus and Astrid, a frigid wind whispers through the air, carrying it with sinister premonition. At the threshold of the Grim estate, guards stand watch, looking attentive. Without warning, assassins materialize from the shadows, their cloaks haunting a silhouette against the night. With precision, they strike down the guards, the sound of life being extinguished, muffled by the enveloping darkness. The mansion's doors melt away as the intruders enter, giving you a sense of dread at the horrors about to unfold. Freya's Grimm's chamber is the first to fall to the onslaught, as the door splinters open and the assassins breach into it, revealing her form, illuminated by flickering candlelight. Her shrieks of terror are abruptly silenced as cold steel meets her warm flesh. Magnus and Astrid Grimm's sanctuary is next, their innocence offering no protection from the malevolence that invades their dreams. The room becomes a theater of blood, with assassin's blades painting a dreadful tapestry across their tender forms and the walls splattered with the blood of the innocent children. Finally, the assassins converge on Lord Grim's chambers, the leader advancing with an air of cruel confidence. Leafgrim, Vickham's brother, roused from slumber, confronts the intruder with a mix of terror and valiance, but his resistance is fleeting ember against the assassin's cold resolve, and his life is extinguished after a brief fight. As the assassins depart, their gruesome work completed, the very walls seem to shudder in mourning, and then with a disturbing swiftness, they vanish, leaving behind a sense of grief and devastation. The once stalwart Grim estate, now a haunting tomb, bears witness to the night's atrocity. In the aftermath, a somber stillness hangs in the air, a testament to the malevolence that lingers. The assassins, puppets of Skaldragr's insidious design, slip into obscurity, leaving behind a city forever marked by their visitation. No. His brother, Leaf Grim, was the one that was killed. You didn't see Vickham Grim at all in this image. Two nights ago, my family was murdered while I was away. This stone that you brought to me was meant to shield my home. I knew of the threat. I knew it was coming. And I was hoping to get it as quickly as possible. I had my wizards develop something to extend its might, to eventually shield the city, to ward off any undead from ever entering. And it could become a beacon. Skaldroggr has been targeting me and my family for a long time, seeing us as the resistance. They cut off the head, the city will bow. I wasn't here as she had planned, and my family paid the price. You all did an impressive feat, going through the lands and acquiring the stone, bringing it back. And I believe you have more to offer, and I ask of your service. I can send you to a place to train up. There's, to be honest, Ebeltoft doesn't stand a chance against Skaldroggr's forces. It's not going to be ready. And any losses that we take ends up just adding to her army. We can't create a supply line to equip and feed soldiers to take it to the offensive. Time is not on our side. There is no attacking Skaldroggr head on, and her army head on. We will always be on the defensive. We send forces behind their lines, but they have no supply lines to disrupt. Her army does not need food, water, heat. Be- it is true. She has cities of living that support her. The, they live under her rule. I do not know the state of which they live in. Those cities are heavily guarded. But we do know that, of course. No. She demands all of our books, our scrolls. All of our spellcasters would be sworn oaths to her. We would have to surrender our arms. We lose all autonomy. And we just become what she demands. The reason why I was not here that night is I was being briefed. You know about the secret of the Dragoon program now. They uncovered a secret, and I was being informed of this secret. I need you to recover a sword. It's from a far island to the south in the sea. You'll need a boat to get there, but I do not have one that I can offer you. Instead, I will send you to the northwest. Estuary has ships. They will not be targeted by Skaldroger. Not yet. You will gain passage to this island and retrieve this sword. Additionally, there is some time you'll need to prepare. I have a secret base where I can send you. It has some of the best tomes, scrolls, and resources available for you to improve yourselves. I will send you there for a brief time for you to gain the knowledge that you think that you're going to need for this journey to make sure that you are better prepared. You bring back this sword, I will reveal to you the secret of Skaldroger and how she can be defeated. But that's where we're going to call it for tonight. As correct. So, yep, I was going to get into that. You will be going to a secret location. I will actually present a map. I gotta export it and everything. Um, but it is a way for you to retrain feats, um, learn spells if you're a spellcaster, craft things if you need supplies and downtime to craft. It's that consider it reward for completing a quest type of deal. But you will have limited time to do such things, but spend time between the sessions researching on what you should be doing and what makes sense. So basically, Marcus is going to spend like 40 years to do this. All right, go ahead and stop the stream.